All right, let's break down how Chelsea are going to win the Conference League. All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to another YouTube video. This time, obviously talking about the Conference League competition ahead of our match with Copenhagen. Here's the deal. We got to figure out, are we going to be in Poland at the end of the May lifting a trophy, or are going to be on the sidelines lamenting another trophyless season? We got to break it down. So here's the deal. To remind everybody how the Conference League works, because none of us knew what it was until this season. 36 teams came together, did that table style match. You played 6 matches. The top 8 seeded go into the round of 16. A knockout phase with playoff winners joined them. And Chelsea went 6 for 6, won every single match. We're top of the table, literally number 1 of 36, as you would expect. This is with Cole Palmer not being selected, along with a few other players. And this was really straightforward. So now we're in the knockout rounds, the round of 16, and we're taking on Copenhagen. So we're going to predict Chelsea's path. We're going to guess their chances of winning it all and really highlight the 3 teams that we think could be the biggest threat. So let's dive in. All right. So Chelsea's knockout phase, here's the path, right? We're seeded first in this next phase, and we're taking on Copenhagen, who were unseeded, right? They had to win a playing game. So while Chelsea are heavy favorites here, again, having won all 6 of the league matches in that phase, we scored 22 goals, only conceded 3 with Jorgensen in goal, mind you. Copenhagen on the other side, while they're a resilient team, they did beat Heidenheim in the playoffs. They obviously lack the depth that a team like Chelsea has. Now, can an out-of-form Chelsea just beat Southampton handily? Are they going to be able to roll into this one and essentially take care of business easily? Well, if there's a silver lining from being knocked out of the FA Cup, this is it, because we had an entire week to rest and prepare for this match. You got to imagine Chelsea are going to win at least 2-0, even on the road, come back to the bridge, another 3-0 for 5-0 aggregate. I think that that's pretty reasonable, right? Against this side with our team and our quality. Now, if you continue on to the quarterfinals, based on the bracket that UEFA has, we're going to be taking on Molde or Legia Warsaw, and that's going to be in the middle of April. Per their draw, Chelsea side, the silver bracket, we're going to go, it's nice that it's not a draw like Champions League has halfway through. We know exactly who we could potentially play. So as we look at Molde's attacking style, they've got Frederick Guldbrandsen, who is leading the charge for them. They could be trouble for Chelsea's defense, but also on Legia Warsaw's side, their brute physicality could also give us problems. We've seen teams that are physical give us challenges this season. But again, at the end of the day, if Chelsea are crashing out to a Molde or a Legia Warsaw, we've got bigger problems to have. So I'm going with, whether it's Nkunku, Neto, Sanchez, Cole Palmer, who's back in the knockout stage, Nico Jackson, if he's back by this round, walking through this, 2-1 away, give them a goal for participation, but coming back and winning 2-3, maybe 1 at home, making it a 5-2 aggregate versus either team. I don't see a lot of reason or room to really divide these 2 teams up significantly based on who Chelsea get. In the quarterfinals, it's got to be a multiple goal difference across the 2 legs walking into the semifinals. And anything less than that is going to be continued to be viewed as unsuccessful for this team. So again, can they step up to the challenge? Can they deliver? Only time will tell, but expectations have to be 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 on aggregate across the 2 legs. So we've won. We move on to the semifinals. Again, bracket tells us exactly who we're going to be looking at. You got Paphos and Djurgården versus Borac and SK Rapid. So here's the deal. SK Rapid are going to be the toughest of the 4 teams that Chelsea could face. They're experienced. They've got an edge to them. On the other side, the Djurgården team, Okay, I'm not going to get into it, right? Sorry for not respecting the club, but like, don't know you, haven't ever come across you. Chelsea are a Premier League team in the top half, fighting for top four. The Premier League quality, you look at size of squad, you look at probably payroll of players. It's one of those things you probably take our top couple players, right? Maybe like a Reece James and a Caicedo, and that's their entire club's budget. So the expectation here, again, even getting to the semifinals in the Conference League, has to de facto be multiple goals, right? 2-0 away, 3-0 at home, 5-0 aggregate. That's the prediction. That's the standard. That's the expectation. Let's see what this team can pull out. But again, I'm still into the semifinals, not bothered by who's going to get there in terms of getting in our way. It's not until you get the final where all of a sudden you can see there being some challenges or some issues for Chelsea. So, as I mentioned, getting into the finals here, you're looking at Fiorentina or Real Betis, right? And those are the only two teams, as we all looked through the bracket of teams that are still in it. In one, recognized, and two, said, yeah, I could see a La Liga or Serie A team getting in the way of Chelsea because we've struggled against these types of teams in the Premier League. I could see them being a challenge as well. And also, for whatever reason, the European teams tend to do better than the English teams in these competitions. So, with that being said, the likely final would be against Fiorentina. They are the second most favorite team in the Conference League. I still don't see Chelsea having a good excuse to lose this. So this is the end of May. Pretty sure the Premier League is wrapped at this point. Depending on where you are for position, you're maybe resting players for a week or more leading up to this because this is your only chance for hardware. Go win a trophy. Is it the Conference League and is it exciting? No, but it's a trophy. And it matters to these young players to get through a knockout competition so that they can go build on that success and learn what it takes to get it across the line. And so, again, not a big trophy, not a massively important trophy, but from a mentality and a confidence standpoint, way, way, way important. The problem is, how close are we to top four? Is that going to be a big distraction? Or is Chelsea going to be able to manage both at the same time? That's the $1,000,000 question that we haven't seen out of Enzo Maresca in this squad. And it's going to be a little bit tight. So as we look at this and we try to figure out, hey, clearly I think Chelsea have a 70% chance of winning, but that's me with my blue tinted glasses. Let's look at what the actual odds are on this. So based on posts on X and betting trends, Chelsea's probability has hovered between 30 and 42% pre-knockouts, right? Like heading into the competition, Chelsea were all between a third and a 50-50 shot at winning it all. Then you go win 6 games, blast 22 goals, only concede 3 without Cole Palmer, who's by far and away our best player again this season. You get into late February, and we were at 38% to reach the final, and it was against Fiorentina. I think that, again, that's still low, but the fact that you're almost 40% to win a cup competition is extremely strong, and there are a lot of teams still in there. So, again, if you're taking a pure statistical approach, really strong. Now, if you adjust it for the round of 16 progression, I'd estimate a 40 to 45% chance to win it all as of March 4th, right? So as time progresses, it only strengthens Chelsea's chances to get there. And you look at the big reason why, and I talked about it earlier, the fact that their payroll, the squad values almost £1 billion, $1 billion per transfer market. This dwarfs the competitors, right? Their form is maybe lacking a little bit, right, for Chelsea. But when you have this deep of a squad, you have this much money invested in players, there's no excuse why you can't go win this competition. And Maresca is going to have to bring the tactics to go win against these smaller, less wealthy teams. It's going to be different. He's going to have to adjust. So, again, this is the way I see it. You can take the betting odds. I think our odds are significantly higher, and maybe it's my expectations are significantly higher. But the biggest risk throughout all of this continues to be injuries. Injuries and fatigue from a congested Premier League schedule is going to be the undoing of this squad. At some point, priorities have to shift. You have to make hard decisions and just play your best 11 in the most important matches. Are we going to be able to do that? Having two-legged ties in between Premier League matches, it's a bit of a concern. It wasn't earlier in the season, but we're at a much different, more fragile spot right now. Again, mentality of getting through the grind and the physicality of these matches could be a factor. So lastly, look, I just want to again highlight the top 3 threats to Chelsea in this section. It's all about Fiorentina. They're the number 1 threat. I'm not going to make this the third most important and build my way to 1. Let's just talk about it. It's Fiorentina from Italy in Serie A. They finished 4th in the league phase. They faced Panathinaikos in the round of 16. Strong attack with Moises Ken, again, Albert Gudmundsson, and a midfield of Giacomo Bonaventura. They reached the final in 2023 and 2024, losing narrowly. They are on a revenge tour in this competition, and I think that matters. They're experiencing clutch moments. They have a passionate home crowd at the Stadio Artemio Franchi, and we should expect to see them in the final. The odds of knocking out Chelsea may be 25% if they meet, and that's really just based on sentiment. The next team in Spain is Real Betis. They're 15th in the league phase, but they did beat Ghent in the playoffs. They faced Vitoria SC in the round of 16. Yeah, they've got La Liga quality with players like Isco and Johnny Cardoso. They're tactically disciplined under Manuel Pellegrini. Heard that name before, haven't we? Obviously, the danger to them is they can grind out results. They're going to be so hard to beat, and they can exploit set pieces, not our strength. Any potential final matchup against this squad, it's going to be an ugly match, and we just have to be ready for that. So again, their chances of knocking Chelsea out is about 20% if we meet. Again, overwhelming favorites. And then lastly is SK Rapid from Austria. They're 7th in the league phase. They face Borac in the round of 16. They have a high press style, and their home form is unbeaten in the Vienna in the league phase. So they've got that going for them. They've got to have confidence, especially at home. Young talents like Matthias Seidel could surprise us. From this silver black at semifinal clash possible, they could have an unpredictable path to get there and really surprise some teams along the way. At the end of the day, they've only got a 10 to 15% chance of beating Chelsea. And the reason I bring this up is because Chelsea at worst are 75% chance winners to take home the Conference League title. There's no reason, unless absolute crazy injuries decimate the squad, of not getting there. And this is what we want to see. So besides Fiorentina's pedigree, besides Betis's experience in the competition, and besides Rapid's momentum, making them a standout, there's nothing there that's going to knock Chelsea out except ourselves. So here's the deal. Chelsea should breeze against Copenhagen. Shouldn't even be an issue. We're probably going to play Molde or Legia next. We're going to have a 50-50 shot at winning the title. Who do we find on the way? We'll figure it out. You let me know if you agree with my predictions. Who else could challenge Chelsea in this bracket? Again, I'm not familiar with these teams. I'm not going to pretend I am. They're a bunch of small European teams that no one's really heard of for that reason. So drop your comments. Obviously, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We got way more content coming at you. We'll obviously be doing the match review today at the end of the match. So until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.